Welcome back everyone to GameZone Birdroom!
GameZone!
And of course, it's not the GameZone Birdroom without the birds. Hello, that moves. Hello. What's that you got? You got banana? You got banana? Hello, my little babies. You've got banana as well.
And a quick look at my Secret Santa gift from Paul the Ink Northerner. They are fucking awesome.
First things first, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a great New Year. I hope you didn't get too drunk, but then that's all part of the fun, isn't it? Staying up late, getting pissed, it's all part of it. Anyway, I hope you had a good New Year. And what have I got today? Well, I am going to review and unbox, yes, the Super Console X King, the BeeLink Android box, King Edition. Looking forward to this. Apparently this plays Sega Saturn really well. We're going to find out.
So, this is what comes with the box. Obviously, you get the two cheap imitations of the PlayStation 2 joypad. They're not bad, you know, they're okay. They're not brilliant, but they will serve a purpose. As you can say, this will accept 360 joypads, PS3, loads of different third-party joypads, so it is the console itself. As I said, it is an Android box with EmuELEC thrown on it, and obviously 61,000 games, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, it's got a little bit of weight to it, heavier than the other Android boxes we've reviewed on the channel. So you've got your HDMI, USB, Ethernet, your power cable, AV cable, which probably doesn't work, a couple of USB 3 ports, and your SD card, which should be the 250 gigabyte version. Yeah, can you see that? There you go. So yeah, I like the box. Does show up the fingerprints though. Apparently these eyes glow green, so we will have a look at that when we power the thing on. User manual, which is pretty much the basic operations of how to use it, all in different languages. The HDMI cable, the power unit, and a remote if you want to use it as a Android box, but we don't want it for that. We want it for the games. It's all about the games. And as I said, you get your joypads. So yeah, that is the contents of the box, which is the boring bit out of the way. Now let's see what this thing can do.
Here we have those glowing green lights. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Really like it.
And the system specs. Let's go through the consoles and systems on this box. Before we get to the gameplay, I'll let this consoles scroll through. This machine, if you want to play 16 and 8-bit consoles on this, they will play just fine. You might get the odd game that you need to change the emulator to get working, but overall, them experiences are going to be brilliant. I want to check the high-end consoles on this device to see how they run. Like your N64, Dreamcast, Atomic Wave, Sega Saturn, that type of stuff. This system does support Panasonic 3DO. The games I played do play very well, but never played the system before, so I don't know if the emulation is correct. Coming up to the Sega Saturn bit, you'll see it says 24 games. There's not 24 games, there's 13. For some reason with the Saturn, every time you play one of the games, it makes a backup of it. And when you try to go onto that backup, it just comes up with the old CD part where you can play music from the original Saturn system. As you can tell, there are a lot of systems on it and a lot of games. First up is the N64. Usually a console that is quite hard to emulate, needs a lot of power under the hood, and the Android boxes I've reviewed previously just didn't have enough oomph to do justice. This box, on the other hand, plays them very well. This is a game that didn't play on the Super Console XQ, but as you can tell, the King is having no problems playing it. I do own this game on the original hardware. It is probably one of my favourite wrestling games of all time. Big roster of wrestlers on it. I think it's about 60. It's immense. As you can tell, I have upped the resolution to 480p. Looks really crisp. Never seen N64 games look this good. Let's try another one, shall we? Let's go over to Wave Race, usually quite a hard one to emulate. This did play okay on the Super Console X Cube and the Pro. There were sound issues with the game on them two systems. On here, it's not as bad. You do get the odd sound issue, but the game is very playable. Again, it's another game you can play in higher resolution. Let's pick one more game that didn't even play, well, was unplayable on the Cube and the Pro. Yes, Cruisin USA, one of the very hardest games to emulate on the N64. Not too sure why. It's not exactly a new game for the N64. It was sort of released early on, but for some reason it is very hard to emulate, and the GD King does it justice. The later the levels you get into, you'll see more issues, sound, graphical glitches, but the first two levels play really well and you can have a lot of fun with the game. But this game on the Cube and the Pro were just literally unplayable. Sound was awful, huge graphical glitches, huge amount of slowdowns. It really was unplayable. But overall, I've tested a lot of N64 games and they play pretty much without issues. They play really well, which I'm happy to inform. But then again, this console is a lot more expensive. Not going to lie to you, if you've got the technical know-how, you could buy the GT King Android box about sort of £80 and do the EmuELEC and add all the ROMs yourself for a cheaper price. These pre-built boxes usually go for around about £120 to £200 on AliExpress, depending on the SD card you go for. Now for Thomas Wave, this game in particular on the Cube and the Pro struggle a lot with slowdowns, sprites disappearing. On the GT King though, it plays superb, really does. Didn't really detect any slowdown. As you can tell, the sprites are not disappearing. Good frame rate, is playing really well. And it's such an awesome game. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This is Metal Slug on super steroids. Time for a bit of Dreamcast. Very hit and miss on the Pro and the Cube. GD King, the Super Console X King, handles Dreamcast no problems. Virtua Fighter 3 TB, usually a harder game to emulate, plays really smooth. This is upscaled to 720p and looks superb.
Fight one, ready, go! Fight two, ready, go!
One more Dreamcast game, Crazy Taxi. Love this game, pure arcade fun. These are what games are meant to be like when you go into arcade. Quick, fun, frantic gameplay that's just absolutely mental. Don't have to think, just pick up your passenger, take them to their place and drive as insanely as possible. Sorry for the voice that keeps going on, not 100% yet. Getting there, feeling a lot better than what I was in my last video. But who cares about that when you're having fun playing this? Such a wicked, wacky game. Again, Sega's written all over this game. Blue skies, fantastic funky music, wacky gameplay. It's just what Sega was known for during the early to late 90s. Next up, we have PlayStation 1. Pretty much all the games are going to play 100% on this system. They play brilliant on lower end systems, and the GT King, the Super Console X King, has got a lot more power under the hood than the previous models. So yeah, you can upscale this all the way up to 720, and the 3D models look fantastic. Even the pre-rendered 2D backgrounds look great as well, upscaled. Yeah, the game has never looked so good. Well, unless you go with the remake for the PS4 and Xbox One, then you know they look pretty good. Really looking forward to playing all 3 Resident Evils on this device. I have got all the games on the original hardware, but just have it you know, upscaled and look this good. Makes it worth playing. Makes it worth revisiting them again. The models look almost as good as the Dreamcast versions.
We've got to get out of here.
What? What do you think you're talking about? I just lost my daughter out there. How dare you tell me to go back outside?
It's one good thing about these little boxes, the fact that you can sort of play around with them, go into the settings and have a mess about. It's all good fun. I will do another follow-up video on this device and show you how to tweak things, change resolution, screen size, put different filters on, scan lines, all that good stuff. So I will do a follow-up video and show you how to do all that. Next up is a PSP game. Not many games on there to choose from. Most of them are sort of indie games. This is a proper game, a proper, I'm assuming it's a fighting game or beat 'em up, scrolling beat 'em up. Never played it. Like the graphics though. Looks quite fun. But yeah, it's quite disappointing when you see reviews of Wicked Gamer and that showing off the console. You know, he's obviously added his own games to the system when you see God of War being played on it, and other high-end games like Tekken 6 being played. Next up, we have the Sega Saturn. So this is the system which a lot of people probably think, this has piqued my interest. It piqued my interest when I saw Saturn could be played on it. Trying to sort of save my Sega Saturn a bit. And yeah, again, when I watched Wicked Gamer's review, he was playing Daytona and I think it was either Panzer Dragoon or Sega Rally. And them games are not on the system. He's obviously added them ROMs to it, which is a bit annoying because when you're watching these reviews you expect them games to be on the system. So he should actually add, oh, I've added these games to this system. You don't get these on the product. But here at the GameZone Birdroom, we show you how it is. Never played this game before. It's like a version of Wipeout, Cyber Speedway. You know what, it's not bad. Don't mind this game. Graphically, it's not the best looking on the Saturn, but I wanted to try it as it is one of the only few 3D games on the system, so I wanted to see how it handles. And you know what, it's playing well, it's running really well. Wonder how this box handles if you up the resolution. That would be quite a sight to see. Saturn games at a higher resolution. That will be for a future video. But yeah, this is playing really well. As I said, not a bad game. Doesn't handle as well as Wipeout. As you can tell, I'm crashing quite a lot. But yeah, not a bad game. I have to look out for this, for the system, and buy the original. I think that's what's best about these systems, is you get the chance to try out new games, and if you like them, you can buy the original, which I've done on many occasions now. You know, I've played something on the Cube and the Pro, and I think, oh, you know what, I really like that game, and went out and brought the game, whether it was eBay, Boot Fair, charity shop, don't matter, as long as you get to own it. That's what I like these systems for. So, last game, and obviously it had to be Sonic. Legend. The legendary game series, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Jam for the Sega Saturn. This game looks brilliant, looks really sharp. Never looked like this on the Sega Saturn. Yeah, really vibrant, nice and colourful, just the way a Sonic game should be. Just such a shame that this never turned out to be a full game for the Saturn. Really missed a proper Sonic game. I think it would have performed a lot better if Sega's blue mascot appeared properly, a big budget official game for the Saturn. Never happened, but this is what it could have been like. Anyway, this system has performed remarkably well. And obviously when you finish with it, make sure you do a safe shutdown. So press select, shut down the system, press B, B again, and there you go. Now back to my boat race.
So, what are my final thoughts on the Super Console X King Edition? I must say, I've had this now since Christmas Day and I am loving it. It's a great, great machine. It is a beast compared to the other Super Console X editions I've owned and reviewed on the channel. Is it a perfect device? No, there's still a lot of N64 games that won't play, but I have played a ton of the N64s and they run very well. Not perfect, but they do run a lot better. Dreamcast runs beautifully. You can have it in 720p upscaled. They look absolutely terrific, them games. Sega Saturn surprised me. Only 13 games I was a little bit disappointed with, especially when you see reviews of Wiki Gamer collectors reviews on the device. We'll leave a link to his channel and that review where he plays Daytona, I think Sega Rally. They don't appear on this, well, at least on this version. So whether he added the games, you can add games to the device. I've not done that, don't know how to do it yet, but hopefully I will. So yeah, a little bit disappointed they were only 13 games, but what I played them, they do play very well, and I was really impressed with how smooth the emulation was. PlayStation works really well with it. Dreamcast, as I said, works brilliant. Atomic Wave, bloody hell. Blue Dolphin looked great. I had none of the sprites disappear. It just looked beautiful and it ran so good. It was great to play that game, you know, probably the way it should be played. The joypads, they're okay. They do if you haven't got joypads to fit with the machine, but as I said, does accept 360 joypads, PlayStation 3, and a ton of third-party joypads. So overall, I'm really pleased with the system, but it is a higher price. To get the 256GB version, I picked it up in mid-November, and it was £139 with postage and VAT. It can go more, I've seen it, but I will leave the link to the device on AliExpress. But yeah, I'm more than happy. As I said, would love to have more Saturn footage. Probably the last device I'll have of this for some time, because if you go higher than this, they do tend to become more expensive, 200 to sort of £450. So yeah, that's probably the highest I'm going to go for a while. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the review, you know what to do. Button bash that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell, and take it easy.
GameZone!
Next time on the GameZone Birdroom, review of Alien Trilogy.